And good evening and welcome to another edition of Talking Wrestling. My name is Ralph Williams, and as you can see, we are back in the DJ Fun Studios back here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Call DJ Fun today, 412-545-4317 for your party, wedding, or special event. Give DJ Fun a call today. And the reason I say this is because DJ Fun has over 20 years of experience in doing DJ work, and I got to tell you, his prices are reasonable compared to today's DJs. Got guys out there that have been out there only 6 months charging $2,000 for a party. So DJ Fun, call him today, 412-545-4317. And my co-host, who is making his triumphant return to Talking Wrestling, he was in the hospital. My Smokin Jim Frazier. How you doing, Smokin Jim?
I'm doing great, buddy. Looking forward to this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As always, wrestling's always the best night of them all. As you well know, those of you who knew last week, I was in a little bit of this week, I was in Youngstown, Ohio. I want to apologize to everyone for the bad audio on Tuesday last night for the way I see it. Now, that will be rectified. That was part of one of my mixers on my mobile equipment, and I don't know why the voice was different on one show and good on the other, and I couldn't understand that. So I'll figure that out as we go. But that will never happen again. And so it was bad audio. I apologize for that. That will not, and I repeat, will not happen again. All right, Smokin Jim, let's get into our wrestling news. Let's start off with WWE. Michigan officials are trying to legalize gambling on the WWE. What do you think of this?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, Michigan is legalizing gambling of the WWE. You will be allowed to go to a sports book in Michigan and bet on the WWE.
I like it.
Well, I knew you would. You know, like Mike Lindell says when he advertises My Pillow, he goes, "Oh, we feel so good," and he goes, "I knew you would." You know, so yeah. So anyway, yeah. So they want to legalize it to where you can bet on the WWE. That is in court right now, but we'll see where that goes. Jerry the King Lawler is back in his home in Memphis after he's recovering from his latest stroke. Jerry the King Lawler is a great wrestler, and tonight on our Where Are They Now segment, we are going to be talking about a wrestler who was brought into the WWE and brought into wrestling by none other than Jerry the King Lawler, and you'll see later on. Okay, Rey Mysterio, Smokin Jim, has indicated that Conan will induct him into the Hall of Fame. As you know, it was announced on Raw and SmackDown this past week that Rey Mysterio is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I found out today that the Great Muta is the second person being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and his inductor is going to be Ric Flair. What do you think of this?
Oh, man, that's great. Well deserved for Rey Mysterio. It's too bad that he only bought his son for his 16th birthday at BMW instead of a Mercedes.
I still can't believe. He made a big issue out of that. He says, "You bought me a BMW instead of a Mercedes. All my friends had Mercedes. You bought me a BMW." I said, "Oh my gosh, dude, you should be lucky you didn't buy you some clunker from the used car lot or something, or one of the lemons." Remember back in the day with the lemons? Oh my gosh, yeah. You know, driving a lemon. Yeah. I'm. Oh my. Hulk Hogan is in the news. He's lobbying the WWE to put the Rougeau brothers. Remember the Rougeaus? Well, he wants them to be put in the WWE Hall of Fame, and he's lobbying to WWE to do so. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, it's not the Hall of Good, it's the Hall of Great, and it's an honor to get in. And there's a lot of people who is deemed worthy, but man, it's hard to get into any Hall of Fame, man. So
absolutely.
We'll just see.
Next, the match between Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley may be postponed. Bray Wyatt has some kind of an illness, and they're not sure if he'll be able to wrestle for WrestleMania. As you know, that's coming up in a few weeks. So that is why Monday night on Raw, you didn't see Bobby Lashley, because Bray Wyatt has got some kind of illness. And yeah, he has an illness. All right. I'll tell you what kind of illness he has, Smoking Jim. I said this last week on the show. He has the illness of not wrestling. That's the illness he has. Because he's only wrestled one match against LA Knight, and that's it in some dark match or whatever. Oh my, Now he wants to wrestle Bobby Lashley. You know what? I always say, Smoking Jim, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it. If you want Bobby Lashley so bad, Bobby Lashley's liable to put you through the mat. With his strength and his wrestling experience, and yeah. All right, next, the Bella Twins are leaving for the AEW. I saw this coming. They were at Revolution to watch Bryan Danielson. There were rumors then that the Bella Twins were going to be joining the AEW, and that's the fact now. They are about to sign contracts real soon with AEW. What do you think about this now?
Man, it's surprising, but it's not shocking. People have different opportunities that they're looking for, and they'll definitely be missed.
Absolutely. Vince McMahon was not backstage at Raw this week. He was supposed to be backstage to talk with or to shake hands with Rey Mysterio, but he wasn't there on Monday at Raw at all. But they said he was involved in some other obligations. But they have said that he really hasn't been involved in creative all that much. In fact, hardly at all. He's just there just to offer anything that Triple H needs, which is a change of pace from what he was doing before. What do you think of this?
Well, I'm a Vince McMahon fan, so whatever he's doing, I'm sure it'll turn out right.
All right, SummerSlam. There's a match announced today, a rumor of a match between Logan Paul and John Cena. And also Butch, Butch from the it's Fight Night, the Brawling Brutes. His real name is Pete Dunne. He was the international NXT champion or European champion back in his NXT days. When they brought him up as Pete Dunne. Then they moved him to this character, Butch. Vince McMahon thought Butch would be a little bit better for him because he was a fighter and a brawler. Well, now they're going to go back to Pete Dunne. So he is going to go back to his original name, Pete Dunne. So there we are.
Stretching the fingers.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think of this match at SummerSlam, Smoking Jim, between Logan Paul and John Cena that could happen?
Oh, man. Well, John Cena, I thought, was fighting A-Town down.
He is at WrestleMania. At SummerSlam, he's fighting Logan Paul.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, woo. Well, I tell you what, if Logan Paul just knock out
Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Rollins with one shot. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So if Logan Paul could get that shot in, man. But I think it's a good move for John Cena. I think he can take care of business with, I love A-Town down, but I think John Cena beats both of them.
Oh, exactly. And then also, JBL once said this. He said, big match, John. When it comes to the big matches, Cena shows up. So,
Can I bet on that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Michigan.
I might be driving to Michigan. I got my insider.
Oh, man.
I definitely got a good deal.
It's not official yet. It's not official yet, but the gambling officials in Michigan, because you do know the poor city of Detroit has casinos. I have never in my life ever seen a city, Smoking Jim, that's poor and has casinos and is bankrupt. That I don't understand, but it is what it is. So anyway, but Logan Paul will fight John Cena. Seth Rollins will fight Logan Paul at WrestleMania. The card for WrestleMania is starting to come together. We'll talk about that a little later here as soon as we get through with the news. Undertaker is being asked to be a coach at the Performance Center, and also to appear in a few matches here and there. He's turned both requests down to the WWE, but said he would consider it maybe later on, but not right now. So, what do you think of that?
Yeah. That's a tough one. What's your opinion on it, buddy?
Well, the Undertaker said he was retiring, and he said he was done after he had that Boneyard match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and he said he wasn't coming back. He's made a few appearances, but he hasn't wrestled. He says he's done wrestling. He wants to spend time with his family. He wants to watch his kids grow up, which a lot of he's had some kids in the past that he didn't watch grow up because he was too busy wrestling. And we have seen this many times, Smokin' Jim, you and I, about how this has happened with these wrestlers and how kids, especially Dominic, he come out and said his dad's a deadbeat father. Oh my gosh. Oh my. But anyway, yeah, I don't think he's going to come back anytime soon. Although he did say he would consider it down the road, but he has to think about it. All right, next, Roxanne Perez. She collapsed on NXT last week. It was announced today by Shawn Michaels that she is forfeiting the belt because she don't know what kind of recovery time is going to be necessary for her to recover from the collapse. So they're going to have a tournament coming up real soon for her title. She was the women's title. She took over the belt when she beat Mandy Rose. You know that your girlfriend there who got fired by WWE because she was trying to make other income. So. But anyway, that's what's going on with that. And also, Braun Breaker is fighting Carmelo Hayes at the next pay-per-view at NXT. Now, get this. All right. Carmelo Hayes is going to lose this match to Braun Breaker at this pay-per-view, which is the same weekend as WrestleMania. It's April 1st and 2nd. Okay. It's the Saturday of WrestleMania, but it's going to be before WrestleMania. So you'll be able to watch it on Peacock before WrestleMania if you want to watch it. What's going to happen here is that Carmelo Hayes is going to lose the match, and he's going to go to the WWE, and he's going to hook up with MVP, and he's going to be part of the new Hurt Business. So what's your thoughts on Carmelo Hayes joining the Hurt Business?
I like it because for some reason Carmelo Hayes got a lot of star qualities. The fans seem to take to him. Sometimes you just got to have it, and he has it. I don't know what it is, but he has it. He's very popular on NXT. He's a exciting, in the ear type wrestler, and I think that he'd be good for the Hurt Business because they do need somebody other than the VIP that can talk. And
yeah,
can talk.
Yeah,
and that's going to help a lot. Almost is your superstar, your brute, but he's not going to talk. And so Carmelo, I think, and there's a few times he shows up with the nice sports cars, the women, the whole bit. So I think he's going to feel it. I think he's going to feel it real nice.
Okay, let's get into some AEW news real quick. All right, let's see. In it, AEW is going to add a third program. Right now, they have Dynamite, they have Rampage, they have that AEW Dark, which is on tonight, I believe, or tomorrow night. I think it's on YouTube all the time. They're talking about adding a third program. What do you think of this? You think they should do that or stick with the two they have and the ROH stuff that they're doing? What do you think?
I always say if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So I think they should stay with the two, but they're gonna do what they think is best.
Absolutely. The faction named for Ruby Soho, Saraya, and Tony Storm is going to be called the Outcast. In case you're not aware, Ruby Soho went from being a baby face, she turned to a heel. And Soraya's a heel now and teamed up with Tony Storm. You remember her from NXT. And the three of them have teamed up, and they are now called the Outcasts in the AEW. Kenny Omega has announced today that he does not know what his future holds. There's many rumors going around that he could be going to the WWE. Impact has an interest in him as well, and he may go back to New Japan. But the question here is, Omega is dangling a carrot now to the AEW. I heard that through a source of mine that his EVP status as executive vice president isn't as good as it once was, or isn't as much as powerful as it once was, and he's dangling that as a carrot to Tony Khan. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Saturday, or I'm sorry, the May 14th, Friday, May 14th Rampage, due to a scheduling conflict with the network, will be moved to Wednesday after Dynamite on the 12th of May. So, because to accommodate NBA playoffs. So, there is that. And we'll get back to Impact in a minute, because I have a special top 10 tonight, Smokin' Jim, because we have 3 tonight. But AEW, it came out with a top 10. Where do you see this here? All right. Impact, excuse me, Scott D'Amore has been promoted to president of Impact. What do you think of this by Anthem Sports?
Yeah, it's like 3 times so far. Your phone kind of went out. So can you repeat that?
Yeah. What I'm saying. What's your thoughts on Scott D'Amore being promoted to president of Impact?
I think that might be a pretty good move. What you think, Ron?
Oh, I think so. He's worked very hard. I mean, he's been with them for 4 years. Anthem appointed him as the GM of Impact. He deserves this promotion. Impact is at its best it's been in a long time. Right now, they need to get on a network. They're still on a streaming service on Access TV. And Tom Phillips, who his real name's Tom Hammerhand or Hammerhahn or whatever however you pronounce his last name, is the key announcer for them now. So they have a little bit of pool going, and they got some old ECW guys there. They have Rhino there, and they have Tommy Dreamer. They have Bully Ray. They have a few of those guys there. Sandman's made some appearances. So some of the old ECW clique is there, and some of the guys from WWE are there as well. We'll see what goes on. Rich Swann is still there. Moose. You got Moose is an old timer. He's been there for a while. In fact, he was there when it was TNA, and then when it moved to Impact. So, they're moving along. The Motor City Machine Guns. Josh Alexander's carrying them. Eddie Edwards is still there. So they have some of their prime people there. Kenny King from ROH Wrestling, and he was with Impact once before. So, they have a lot of momentum going for them right now. They just need to do a little bit of tinkering to get over the top, I think. That's what I think about them. Okay, Smokin' Jim, you ready for this top 10 about AEW?
I can't wait.
Okay, a report out there says that there's 10 reasons why people change the channel from AEW. So we'll start at number 10. Okay, Rampage often doesn't matter. That's number 10. Number 9, lack of women matches. Okay. Number 10, too many ROH matches. All right. Number 7, poor officiating. Well, the only one that I like is Paul Walker, the one ref there. And the only reason for that, Smokin' Jim, is because I met him at an ROH event when he worked for them. And he's from Pittsburgh. So that's the only reason I like Paul Walker. All right. But the rest of them officials, and Aubrey Edwards is in trouble. Her ex-husband is accusing her of embezzling money or doing something when she was married to this top executive for some company. So she's in trouble. So who knows what's going to happen with her. Anyway, so number 6, let's see here. Wait a minute here. Okay, too much announcing of insufficient announcing of every match. That's number 6. Number 5, overly acrobatic wrestling. Number 4, trash talking. Well, that happens every wrestling. So if you're gonna turn the channel off because somebody's trash talking Smoking Jim, come on. You got to admit that's a little petty right there, don't you think? You know.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. Here's the best one of them all. Number 3. You ready? Bad language. Bad language. Come on, man. What do you think we watch wrestling for? Trash talking and bad language. Oh, at least AEW has bad language. So there you go. Number 2, too much blood. Hey, I like AEW's matches because at least there is blood. You don't see you hardly ever see any on WWE anymore. So, all right. And number 1, you ready for this? Violent stipulations. What do you think of this top 10 here, man?
Yeah, some of them definitely need to be kicked out. Yeah.
Oh, bad language. Come on, man. That's why I watch AEW. I like bad language, right? Man. You know, trash talking and, you know, come on, man. You know, AEW is different than WWE, you know. And I remember when WWE used to do it, so I don't even want to hear it. You know what I mean? You know, I figured. I mean, I laughed through this whole thing when I saw this. I said, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?" So we'll get into our other 2 top 10s later. Right now, we're going to go over Monday Night Raw. What was your thoughts? And you know, this is starting to get kind of old. The Bloodline going after Kevin Owens. They beat him again. You know, he just, you know, it's like Ray and his son Dom. You know, it's the same old storyline over and over again. On Friday Night SmackDown, they go after Sami Zayn. On Monday Night Raw, they go after Kevin Owens. And it's the same thing every week. What do you think of this?
Never gets too old for me, brother. I loved it. It still caught me by surprise when he went backstage. He got hit with the double kicks.
Yeah,
but, holy heck, they dragged him on his back.
I saw that. Yeah, that was hilarious. I saw that. I had that got
to leave a burn.
I had just got back in time from the hospital visiting my nephew when I was down in Youngstown, and I turned it on and I was like, oh my gosh, here we are. You know. Edge, as you know, opened the show. He accepted Finn Balor's challenge for WrestleMania. What do you think of this match?
You know, it ain't gonna be fair. You know, the Judgment Day is gonna jump in at some point probably, but it's a cage match, so
yeah, it's gonna be Hell in a Cell.
Cage match, right? Yeah. So I don't know, man. Could get real bloody in there, man. There's no love lost between the two, man. So, yeah.
Hey, did you watch last night? And I know we were doing the show here, but did you eventually get to watch anything or record at last night's NXT? Grayson Waller went to Johnny Gargano's house and actually knocked on his door. And Candice LeRae standing there holding the baby last night. They're going to fight at that NXT pay-per-view.
Wow, I taped it, but
yeah, check it out, man. It's pretty interesting. You know, this Grayson Waller, man, he got a lot of guts. I mean, you know, first he was messing with Shawn Michaels, and now he's messing with Johnny Gargano and his family and all that. This goes back to, I heard this rivalry goes back to when Gargano was in NXT originally. And,
wow.
You know, they've been sort of shuffling him back and forth between the main roster and NXT to try to build him back up. In fact, speaking of Johnny Gargano, he teamed up with Dexter Lumis, and of course, they lost to the Judgment Day. So, you know. Now, what were your thoughts on the Brock Lesnar Omos face-to-face thing? I kind of suspected this was going to go the way it did, but the thing that really was really enticing was when Brock smiled at Omos even after he kicked him out of the ring. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. You know, Brock now did get a chance to see him up close and personal. Man, that Omos is big, man.
Yeah, and, do you think Omos can really beat Brock Lesnar, or do you think Lesnar, with his experience, can beat Omos?
I think Omos is capable of killing a man in the ring,
Wow.
and that includes Brock Lesnar. That's the strongest big man I've seen since Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain had superhuman strength too, man. So yeah, it's going to get interesting, man. Brock's going to have to use all his combat experience, sports experience, um, to get over, because Omos don't only have himself, but don't forget MVP is there as well with that weapon of a cane. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like he really has a use for the cane other than for a weapon. You know how that goes. All right, all right. Next, Cody Rhodes took on LA Knight. We knew this was where this was going. Cody Rhodes was going to win this match leading up to WrestleMania. I still like LA Knight. I mean, I like the way he talks on the mic and he calls everybody dummies and all that stuff. It's so funny. You know how he
it was a
does.
good match. It was a good match too.
Oh,
It
yes,
was a
it
really
was.
good match.
Yeah, it was a good match because once in a while we need to see a good one, not one that's one-sided. You know what I'm saying? Bronson Reed defeated Elias. We know about that. We don't. Elias. I'm very surprised with Elias. If this is a storyline they're using with him, I think they're wasting his talent. He does have good talent as a wrestler, but it just seems like he loses every match anymore. And if this is a
Yeah,
storyline, shame on WWE because they're wasting his
I,
talent. You know,
I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
I mean, it's terrible. And then, of course, your buddy A-Town Downtown here beat Angelo Dawkins. Um, I see a match between him and Montez Ford coming up soon. I'd like to see Montez Ford beat him, but Angelo Dawkins wasn't able to. So, what do you think of the split up of the Street Profits? And they're kind of doing the little solo thing like the New Day does, and then they're going to team up when they need to. What do you think of that?
Well, it was good for A-Town Down. It was a good match, and at the end when A-Town Down put the Cena signature move on the
Yeah, that was
after he was
yeah.
hurt. That was cold blooded, man. But Ford come running out a little bit too late. But yeah, hey, I think Montez Ford has some star qualities. He's with the number one a woman in professional wrestling, and so I think he's going to go more and more on his own and do some things. He's a high flying act, and
Yeah,
that's always a big seller. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they're kind of breaking up a little bit.
yeah, my friend Bob Cook, we had him on the show. He's a former professional wrestler. He was in WCW for a long time. He did squash matches. He was the guy that fought Ric Flair, and it was a quick squash match. You know what I mean? Uh, Bob Cook even said that he thought at the chamber match that Montez Ford put on the best performance. And I sort of agree with him. I thought based on the fact that he really never has wrestled in a singles matches, I thought he did as well. I actually thought he put on a pretty good show. Uh, Rey Mysterio refused to accept Dominic's challenge. Eventually, this is supposed to happen. These two are going to wrestle with Santos Escobar and that group in his corner, and Judgment Day and Dominic's corner. What do you what do you think this is? Do you think this match could happen or will happen?
Uh, I really I gotta take Rey Mysterio for his word that he's not gonna fight his son. Um, I know it's tough. You keep getting disrespected, um, but uh, I got to take him at his word that he's not going to fight his son.
Yeah, I thought last Friday on SmackDown when the Phantasma group came out and helped and on his behalf and went up against Judgment Day. I actually thought that they were going to win that match because they're not they're with Selena Vega and everything. And I even said to my wife, I says, you don't want to mess with Selena Vega, Rhea. You really don't. I mean, she's a polished wrestler. She managed Andrade and some other people, and now she's back with the Fantasia group. And Santos Escobar, he's been around, and the other two guys in that group have been around. And I thought it was actually a good match, believe it or not, despite the fact that the Judgment Day are used to dominating. I actually thought it was a good match, but so Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin.
Well, you just liked all those ponchos they came out with when they first got the ring,
Yeah, exactly. Seth Rollins defeated Baron Corbin by pinfall, and Miz, of course, interrupted the match or interrupted a Rollins backstage interview. Corbin showed up to petition both sides to get on WrestleMania. Miz offered to be his good word for Corbin if he beat Rollins. The final Rollins stomp came. He jumped off, and Miz ended up getting beat up again by Seth Rollins, and Seth got the best of him. That's going to be interesting. Baron Corbin's another waste of talent. I think he's a good wrestler. They had him in some storylines. They had him, with some championship capability. He blew Money in the Bank. What do you think of this Baron Corbin thing?
It's a little disappointing. I like Baron Corbin, and like you said, he's turning into Elias. He's losing every week. Before you know it, he'll be broke again and down and out. You can kind of see the storyline being written. I like when Baron Corbin is, walking the walk and talking the talk, and got money and flavor and style and swag. So it looks like he's on the other side of that again.
Yeah, well, when he was broke or he was poor, I remember that. That was funny. They were towing his car away. So anyway, Bianca Belair defeated Chelsea Green via pinfall, and then Asuka came out to save Belair from an attack from Green and Carmella. Once again, Asuka tried. I think she was going to try to put the mist on Carmella, but Carmella got out of the way again. So, she had those thick high heels on, Smokin' Jim. I was surprised she was able to move that fast. I said, "Oh, whoa! Look how fast she moved out of the way."
Oh, that body suit was unbelievable, bro.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, and then Corey Graves, the most beautiful wrestler in the world. Yeah, I know. So we all know about that. But anyway, that was our Raw results last week on SmackDown. They had the match for to go up against Gunther at WrestleMania. It turned into a big double pin by both Sheamus and Drew. Now Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are fighting this Friday, and the winner goes to WrestleMania to fight Gunther. So what do you think? Who do you think is going to win that match? And I think it's going to turn out to be a triple threat match. I'm hearing stories it could be a 5 or 6-man ladder match. I'm hearing that story too now for the Intercontinental title. What do you think?
Wow, I'm not sure, man. It's going to be hard to take his title, but man, it's some good competition, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also hearing he could lose the title at WrestleMania, and they got other plans for him. They're possibly going to get him into a championship situation. You do know after WrestleMania, they're splitting the belts up. The Universal title will stay on SmackDown. The WWE title is going to go back to Raw. They were supposed to have a tournament this month, but that never happened, where they were going to have a tournament for the WWE title, and then the two winners, or the two last two guys left in the tournament, were going to fight each other at WrestleMania for that belt. Same thing with the Raw tag team belts, but they're supposed to be splitting them up too. But I don't know, because I'm hearing now that the momentum of the bloodline, they may just keep it the way it is, other than Roman Reigns. But we're not sure yet. I mean, we don't know what WWE has in store. Right now, all it is rumors. But, so what did you think about the match with Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn? And, of course, you know where that went on Friday last week. The usual stuff with the bloodline and Sami Zayn. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, nothing really surprising, like you said. You knew at some point what was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Because exactly. It's just like Judgment Day. You know they're going to win every match, just about. And get involved in everything. What do you think about this Edge situation? He wants to. He said when he was talking that he had some unfinished business before he retires, because he's planning on retiring at the end of his contract this year. And what he wants to do is he wants to take out the Judgment Day before he retires. Do you think he can, or do you think he will, or what?
No, not without help. He would have to get him another Judgment Day that can go up against these guys. I think that I think that he'll inflict a lot of pain in the meantime. Um, but in terms of getting his just do a victory, it ain't gonna happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. All right. Next, we're going to get into our top tens, and then we're going to go into our "Where Are They Now" segment tonight. Let's get started. The top 10 WWE wrestlers who made random appearances. You ready for this?
Uh huh.
All right. First is oh, wait a minute. I can't even understand my own stuff here. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, the Great Khali made an appearance. He's number 10. He made an appearance in that Pujami prison match that time with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. Number 9, Jake the Snake Roberts. You know how many times he's made some personal appearances, but now he's still working with AEW. Number 8, Tatanka. Remember Tatanka? He's made some random appearances. Number 7, Psycho Sid. Oh, wow. He looks awful. I've seen him these days. He's terrible looking. He don't look all that great. And you know, I mean, well, that's what happens when you do steroids and you bulk yourself up. It's just like professional football players. If you would have seen, I seen Alan Faneca in person. He was in my cab when I drove a cab one time, right? And if you would have
Uh-huh.
seen him then compared to what he looks like now, you'd know that you'd see the big difference. Chris Hoke,
Yeah.
Breck Hazel, all these guys,
Hmm.
they look way different. The late Vader, who he made some random appearances, even though he was retired. The Honky Tonk Man, I'm cool. I'm bad. Number 5. Number 4, Greg Valentine. Number 3, Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer's all over the place. He's in Impact. He's in Japan. So Sonny, number 2, Sonny. We all know what happened to her. Number 1, Rob Van Dam. Number 1 guy that made the most random appearances since retiring from wrestling. All right. The next top 10 we have here is the top 10 who redirected hold on a second here. Oh, who retired too soon. I'm sorry. Wow. Who retired too soon. All right, let's get started, Smoking Jim. You're gonna love this one. Number 10, JBL. Number 9, Michelle McCool. Number 8, Abyss. Now, I found something very interesting on recently that Abyss is working for the WWE. He's a coach in the Performance Center, and he actually is a lawyer, and he does legal work for the WWE. He actually works for them now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So the WWE did have him make some appearances as Joseph Park, Esquire, and that's his real name, Joseph Park. But when he was the character Abyss, he did retire kind of too early. But that's all the beatings he took in Impact Wrestling. So number 7, Eve Torres. 6, I think you'll agree with me with this number 6 one, AJ Lee. She retired too soon. Uh, Number 5, Lita. Number 4, Trish Stratus, which they're coming back. As you know, Lita and Becky Lynch are now the new women tag team title holders, and there's going to be a 6 women match with Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch against the Damage Control at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch coming out on that one. I don't see Damage Control winning that match. What do you think?
I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right, Trish Stratus at number 4. Number 3 is an interesting one. The Rock. I thought he retired too soon. He did one movie, and then he did another. And then I thought when he came back and won the title that time off of Cena, and then after about a month, he lost it again to Cena or something, the next pay-per-view or whatever. And he ended up with some injuries or something, and he never came back after that to wrestle. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold had to retire because he had some neck injuries when Owen Hart pile drived him into the mat, the late Owen Hart. And Vince McMahon wanted him to retire then, and he didn't want to retire. He went into the early 2000s and then became an actor. And now he's doing stuff on USA Network. He's got a new program coming out. He's doing his podcast on the WWE Network. He's keeping himself busy. But he said in an interview one time, Smokin' Jim, that the one thing that he really was bad at was with family. So now he's able to catch up with his family. So that's good. I mean, number 1, you ready?
Hey, before you go there.
All right, here we go. Hold on a second here. I know you're ready for this. Here we go. All right.
Hear me?
I'm ready. Shawn Michaels, number 1. Shawn Michaels, who regretted retiring early. Well, you know what? Shawn Michaels actually had to retire early. He was having some issues with substance abuse. He hurt his back, in the 90s, and then he decided to become a born again Christian, and he wanted to get out of wrestling. I mean, and so he lost his first wife because of it, and he just simply wasn't going to do it anymore. And I don't blame him. I mean, in some perspective, so. All right, tonight we have our special Where Are They Now segment. Didn't do it last week, but I figured I'd wait till you come back, Smokin' Jim, because I think this is your favorite segment. So,
yes, sir, it is.
All right, you ready? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got the drum roll going. There we go. All right. Tonight, Kane is our Where Are They Now segment. Real name, Glenn Jacobs, mayor of Knox County, which is in Knoxville, Tennessee. Kane, Smokin' Jim, is the wrestler that I mentioned earlier that Jerry the King Lawler brought into wrestling. You there, Smokin' Jim? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he brought him into wrestling. Born 1967, he's currently 55 years old. His height is 7 feet. His spouse is Crystal Goins, who he married in 1995 and is still married to her to this day. He is currently the mayor of Knox County, has been since 2018. Now, Kane went to see, before he became a politician, which was said that a lot of people were surprised at this, but Kane was very good at what he did. He was a hard worker in wrestling. No one says anything bad about the guy. And the Undertaker made comments like, well, he was a good performer. And since he was brought in by Jerry the King Lawler, he was a very good performer. And he never, ever, he was always there. He was always on time. He was always asking questions. This is a guy who brought the lunch pail as a professional wrestler. He didn't take no shortcuts. He did it the hard way, the right way, and everything else. His real full name is Glenn Thomas Jacobs. All right. He debuted in 1992 in some small independent circuits. And then he was in WCW for a little while under a different name. And then he was in AWA under a different name. And he was even teamed up with a few people. So he's been there and he's done that. And, but the biggest storyline, I think, and I think you'll agree with me, was when he was Undertaker's brother. I thought that was the best storyline for him when he was with the WWE. What do you think about that?
I agree. That was great, man.
Oh, yeah.
Twin Towers.
Not only was, just the Twin Towers wrestling, Smokin' Jim. Let's take a look at how it happened. When, the storyline was so good about how, and Vince McMahon made this work really good. And Glenn Jacobs made it work as Kane. When They brought him in. The house caught on fire. Undertaker ran out the door, left his brother behind. And Paul Bearer brought him in, said, "Oh, I'm his father," and all that. That's how that all got started. And then when they had some brutal matches, I saw most of them, especially that fire match. That was something else. And it's Kane is our Where Are They Now segment tonight, and he's now the mayor of Knox County, and he may run for something else. He was talking about maybe running for a senator's seat or something later on down the road. But right now he's happy as the mayor. So we'll go from there with that. But Glenn Jacobs, Kane, he's in the Hall of Fame, and he was a great wrestler, a great performer, and a great family man. His wife said he never, he was always there. He always separated what he did, Smokin' Jim, and made it work. Was he didn't do the 350-day thing like all these other wrestlers did. He made sure he was home for family, and he would do his wrestling things and then be home for family, and that's what a lot of guys didn't do. And he still worked hard. So that's our Where Are They Now segment tonight. Kane, what's your thoughts, Smokin' Jim?
An excellent job, Ralph.
Thank you.
Enjoyed that, brother.
Thank you. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap things up tonight?
No, man. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan. A lot of stuff coming up, and especially gambling in Michigan.
There you go. Also, don't forget too, not only WrestleMania coming up, but AEW's master pay-per-view, Double or Nothing from Vegas. That's their WrestleMania. That's coming up. I watched the very first match there were actually two good matches, and I watched it. I was in Raleigh when they first got started AEW because I was down there for my aunt's arrangements. I had to go down there, and I was her. I was in charge of the estate for her down there, and I was down there for 3 weeks. And it just turns out that they were just getting started AEW, and their very first thing was Double or Nothing. I saw two great matches. The first one was the Rhodes brothers fighting each other, Dustin and Cody.
Wow.
Oh, was that a great match, Smokin' Jim? I said, this is going to be an excellent wrestling organization. And then John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, he went up against Kenny Omega. What a match that was. Oh, my gosh. And there were some other great matches as well. I couldn't remember the whole card, but those two matches set me to AEW, and that's when I started following them. And then when MJF first came in, he was friends with Cody Rhodes, because I told you I met him at the Pete because my security friends, I went to go see them, and I saw him and I saw Cody Rhodes. Cody remembered me from when I did security with ROH, and the Young Bucks too. They remember me as well. And MJF, he come up, he had his scarf on, and he was like, "How you doing? How are you? What's your name?" I said, now he's desecrating the Franco Harris statue. I'm still waiting for him to give me an apology from last year when he was messing around with the statue down at Heinz History Center. I'm still waiting for him to give me an apology for that, because that's a shame. What he did to Franco statue down there. He's a no good jerk. I have no respect for him anymore, and he's being a jerk with everybody. I mean, the wrestling circuits out there are people, colleagues, everybody's talking about it, and he still says that in January of 2024 he's going to be with the WWE. So, if that's the case, good for him. I hope he doesn't take the AEW title belt with him. We'll see. What do you think right now with him with AEW, real quick before we go?
Yeah, man, I got to side with you, man. That's if he does leave, I hope he doesn't take the belt with him, man. I agree with you.
Yeah, I remember when Sunny did that. She took the belt, went to WCW, and threw it in the trash. Remember that?
Yeah.
Threw it in the trash and joined the NWO. I remember that. Yeah, that's why Vince McMahon created the Montreal Screwjob, because he was afraid Bret Hart was going to do the same thing. So, I mean, But anyway, Smokin' Jim, once again, thanks for being part of the program as always. And we're here every Wednesday night, everybody, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Don't forget tomorrow night, Wrestling and Sports Talk with myself, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Mark Mancini. What a great Thursday night show we have. We start tomorrow at 7:30. Next Thursday, the 23rd, we start at 8 o'clock because Smokin' Jim and I have our TV show of Sports Corner TV edition, as we're going to prepare you a little bit for the draft. Next month, April 6th show, we will have our draft show on Sports Corner. May even have some guests. We'll see. All right. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. Don't forget tomorrow night, 347-205-9631, the most popular national wrestling show around on Blog Talk Radio is wrestling and sport. We also blend in a little bit of sports as well. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow night on Blog Talk Radio. I'm Ralph Williams for Smokin' Jim Frazier. Have a great night.